It is the Riot on RadioU. Our apologies for yesterday. There was no podcast. And today, Hudson's on the podcast.
Yeah, apologies for that too, huh?
Well, no. That was just yesterday. Obi had to go out of town, so he should be back for Monday's podcast. But Hudson decided to come in. He gracefully accepted the pleading invitation.
Decided, somebody needs to do the show.
I know. I decided to come in, not leave me alone. But no, it was so much fun having Hudson in, and I think you guys enjoyed it too. So hopefully you'll enjoy the podcast of Hudson in for Obi today.
Yeah, we've got a lot of questions asked of me.
Yeah.
So it's really a get to know me. It seems to devolve to that every time I show up here.
Everybody's always curious about you.
And because it happens so few and far between that people forget my answers to questions sometimes.
They're just curious.
Yeah. So we get to a lot of that. What else did we talked about dog beer.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, that's in the podcast.
At $9.99 for a 4-pack.
Yeah. So how much do you love your dog?
When you could just give him some. It's just bone. Well, you know what? I don't want to spoil it. So we'll just let you wait for what it is.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be, I guess, me and Nikki if we didn't talk about TikTok a lot.
You're right.
So we are the TikTok aficionados here.
If you want, I love watching it, and he makes them. So that's the partnership right there.
So it's all in there today.
You need to make sure to check out RadioU Official for our TikTok, and we talk about who's looking at buying TikTok now, and again, just
their algorithms
that we like it,
data mining, and
all that fun
all
stuff.
The security flaws.
Yeah. So hopefully there's a lot other in this podcast.
Yes.
Is it about the same length, do you think? Do you think we hit it?
I don't know. It might be too long. I'll have to cut a few things.
If not, better to have too much than too little.
That's right. You can just fast forward.
Absolutely. But hopefully,
once these breaks, if we don't put them in the podcast, they just disappear. So.
You'll miss them.
Yeah.
You'll want to hear this. So hopefully you enjoy the podcast today. Please say hello. Text 877 to RadioU, or text if you had a question that you wanted to ask Hudson. We'll still see these. So put your name and that you're a podcast listener, and then we'll get to those on Monday when Obadiah should be back.
All right, enjoy.
Okay, thanks for listening. You have to say bye now.
Oh, bye.
Bye.
They even make morning people want to reach for the snooze button. It's the worst of the Riot on RadioU.
Good morning, Hudson.
Good day.
Yay!
Good morning to you.
Hey, Hudson's in.
This is what it feels like, huh?
It's been a while, hasn't it?
It has, and a lot has changed. This is American Excess over here.
What are you talking about? All of his screens?
This giant screen. I've seen it over here.
It's massive.
I thought it was a prop, like a you just put it here so that it looks like we have the most impressive technology, but we really do.
It's functional. I mean, I think you'll end up. Well, Obi is out today. He should be back on Monday. So Hudson's filling in. Obi has this massive computer monitor screen that he works from.
So huge,
and so he can put multiple things on it at one time, and it actually really does, I think, help him keep it all centered into one place.
Right.
But when anybody else comes in, it's excessive at first, but let's check in later in the show to see if you.
That's a good point.
Move into now when you come back to where we work on normally this other side of the board.
Yeah.
If you start demanding, do you want more screen space, or are you going to be fine going back to what we have over here, which is much smaller?
At the moment, it does feel way too huge because I've got already so many things open, and it's not taking up the whole screen. I feel like
you can add more.
I'm in a NASA control room, am I landing a space shuttle?
Yeah.
What's going on? Why do I need all this?
Well, again, let's give it 1 hour, and you're going to be like, I could go bigger. I could have more.
Yeah, right. I need more area. It's not enough.
Dude, log into more stuff. Open more stuff up. You can fill the screen space.
I don't have Twitter open yet. I got
you
to
can do this.
Yeah.
You can totally do this.
The worst of the worst. Are you ready? The Riot Podcast. RadioU.
So back at the beginning of quarantine, I felt like that's when Tiger King was a thing.
Yeah, it was it came out at that sweet spot.
Yes.
You have to wonder if it didn't come out when everybody was stuck at home,
would
it have struck a chord like it did.
Well, I feel like it died away, don't you? Or
the people watching the show, yes. Yeah. At least as far as I know, but not all the news about it afterwards.
Well, it's come back in the news because Tiger King was the docuseries on Netflix So
Right.
now NBC is doing their version of a show.
Add it to the list.
Yeah, it's going to be in the list. So the show should be called Joe Exotic, and it was ordered without a pilot episode, which means they kind of just want to go with it.
Okay.
Sometimes if a network does a pilot episode, they deny it then. Like that's them not being too sure.
Oh, okay,
But
sure.
they're just going to go ahead and do it. And it's based on the Wondery podcast, Joe Exotic.
Okay.
And it's
Oh my
going to be
gosh.
done on NBC, so broadcast there.
Right.
USA Network, their channel.
Okay.
And it'll be on Peacock,
Of course it will.
which will be, NBC's service that they have. And so they announced that Carol Baskin will be Kate McKinnon, who's on
Okay.
SNL.
That seems like decent casting, I guess. I don't know.
She could fit, I guess.
Yes, maybe. I don't know. Doesn't it? This is. I say add it to the list because there's so many of these Tiger King.
There's going to be like a movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's
Nicolas Cage is playing Joe Exotic in something. I
Is
don't.
it a
I think
real
it's
movie or like
I think it's a limited series.
So this is a different one.
Yeah,
So this
but
again
this-
is more like the podcast.
Yeah, this feels like it sounds like they're hedging their bets a little bit, like where you said they didn't order a pilot episode.
They're just going
which
for it.
I think is smart. I think there's a lot of everybody's trying to get their Joe Exotic, their Tiger King thing in. Well, I don't know if it's going to work so well if you don't actually have Joe Exotic himself.
True.
I feel that is a lot of what
Some
the
people
draw
felt
of
like
the main
that
show.
was all a not is train wreck as too strong of a term. And sometimes we like to watch those in our docuseries.
Right. Yes, exactly.
So when you take that out and put it into an actor portraying,
Right.
and I think some of the shock with the Tiger King stuff in the beginning was like, this is real people.
Yeah.
But that's not the case with the movies that they're ordering.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to have, if any of these myriad Tiger King spinoffs are going to have anywhere close to the impact that the actual Tiger King
And
did.
it's so late. It's months and months and months later. So
yeah.
I don't know.
But then again, it would be very weird if NBC came out like in April and they were like, look at our Tiger King show.
It's been over a year.
Right. We're ready.
They do not have any dates or times on like when it's actually coming out.
Maybe they're just hoping like if they take long enough that people will like forget kind of about the Tiger King, and then it'll be like this new fresh thing again.
They'll get re-excited with
I
it.
remember the Tiger King.
Well, look
That
for
was so
it.
long ago.
Called Joe Exotic. They haven't filmed it. It's a limited TV series.
Okay.
It'll be on, like I mentioned, NBC, USA, and Peacock. And so Kate McKinnon's the only one who's really been announced because she's producing it too.
Oh, okay. And she's the big name.
One day, a heroic time traveler will go back in time to make sure none of this ever happens. Until then, it's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
Hudson's filling in for Obadiah today.
Good morning.
877 to Radio U. Please send your hellos directed to him that way. Andy said, good morning, Nikki. And hey, Hudson, welcome to Early Mornings.
Hey, good morning, Andy.
Did you have to prepare for the early morning today, Hudson? Or did you have to go to bed early last night? Is basically what I'm saying.
Yeah, I didn't go to bed much earlier than normal, but I did have to make sure because I almost ran out of time this morning. I misjudged.
Oh, to not be late.
Yeah, well, to have time to make coffee before I came in, because I've had problems in the past where I'm sure you know this, nothing's open.
Yeah.
There's nothing. I want to go to Tim Hortons to get a coffee, but a lot of times they're not open this early.
It's really sad when you're up before all the other places.
Yeah, before the places
else,
that are supposed to help you wake
yeah,
up.
Exactly. You're unhelpable so early in the morning.
Right.
And I think everybody who gets up later than we do takes it for granted that it's just there.
Right.
And we don't have that luxury.
Yeah, right. Even Tim Hortons is like, yeah, the radio's always going. They're always there.
They're always there, but we're not. We're not going to be up. Well, I just wanted to check and see how your time for getting up this morning, if it worked out fine.
I was a few minutes to spare.
Sometimes it's
and
almost
coffee in hand.
You feel like it's like the first morning of school where you're like, don't oversleep. Like this is the most important day.
Yeah,
You're not
right.
supposed to oversleep.
Oh,
but
that
then
is what
you
I
stay
freak
up
out
late
about.
and you don't go to sleep when you're supposed to.
I freak out every day. I have I have my phone and I have an alarm clock because I don't want to sleep in.
Just to make sure you don't oversleep?
Yeah, and then on like a day like today, I had to like really be sure. I had to set so many alarms. Although like I still only had the two different sources, so
Yeah.
if the alarm clock got unplugged and my phone died, or like
you
I didn't have a
envision the
third
worst.
option. Yeah,
you don't need 3. I'll just call and wake you up.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be that bad.
Yeah.
You thought they were bad live? Well, just wait until you hear this. The Worst of the Riot podcast with Obadiah and Nikki.
So we see that Lay's, if you're a fan of the barbecue-flavored Lay's potato chips, they are doing a voluntary recall over a mistake that they made.
Yeah, so you're going to want to turn those in. Unless...
Do you get to turn them in, or I think you just throw them away?
You just...
I don't think you get to turn them in.
No, you got to take them back. And
you don't get to take them back.
You get a credit, and then they
Who's
give you
taking
another
them
bag
back?
of chips.
If you have the receipt,
Yeah.
do you
guess.
keep the receipt?
No.
So we're throwing them away, aren't we?
Maybe if it's a big enough bag of chips.
Unless you don't have an allergy with this. Then you can just eat them. But they're saying that...
Wait, I thought, because we were talking about this off air, I thought you said that they were filling it with the wrong flavor.
They are.
And that means it's an allergy issue.
The problem is they had the wrong flavor filled in the bag of the barbecue potato chips.
Uh-huh.
So in a barbecue potato chip, apparently it doesn't feature milk. But this new one, they're not saying what flavor might have made its way into the bag, has milk in it. So if you have a milk allergy and you open a bag of barbecue chips and you think, I'm good.
These
I'm
are
fine.
safe for me.
Exactly. You think these are safe, but you don't realize it's a different flavor in there, so they're recalling all of them.
I mean, whether you're allergic or not, you might just spit them out because it's not what you wanted.
But for some,
you open barbecue chips and you get salt and vinegar.
You could be very disappointed.
What a rude awakening that would be.
They don't care, though, about that.
No.
They only care about allergies. That's a difficult word for a food company to make sure they're being sensitive to. So they said that it could be a life-threatening allergic reaction if someone ate the chips and didn't realize it was not the barbecue flavor.
Yeah. I was excited at first because I thought they're going to have all these chips and they can't sell them. Maybe that we could have some, but
I think they burn them.
They're not even the right flavor, so we don't even know what they are.
They're not saying. So this applies to distribution for Arizona, California, Hawaii, Idaho, Montana, New Mexico, Nevada, Oregon, Utah, Washington, and Wyoming.
So the West.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So they're doing various sizes of the chips, and it could include also the Frito-Lay variety pack. So if you bought the variety pack, it's also bad too.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking is that there's just a bunch of people right now that are thinking, I thought it tasted weird.
I know, like
that
you thought you were wrong.
Yeah, it's not you off. It's the chips.
They're actually saying that you can return the product to a retailer for a refund, or if you call their Frito-Lay consumer relations phone number, I'm sure you can get a refund or something that way.
Yeah. I even if you did have a milk allergy, I'd still feel weird taking it back to the grocery store because they don't even...
they don't know.
Yeah, the customer service desk or whatever, they don't know what's going on.
I don't like confrontation also, so I would just be like, well, this is great, whatever it is. I would treat it like a mystery flavor.
I sunk the $3.49 into this.
How to survive the riot. Do the complete opposite of everything they say. You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
Amazon yesterday announced the Amazon Halo.
Yeah, I'm looking at this story.
I don't think Hudson's into it, but let's give the details first.
Right, let's give it a fair shake.
Then maybe people will like it.
Yeah.
It's actually, I hate this part first. It's a subscription product, so you have to pay a monthly fee for a new fitness tracker.
I had Obadiah's buzzer sound effect.
Yeah.
We'll just throw that in throughout the story.
So basically, you buy a Halo band, which is like a Fitbit fit tracker.
Okay.
This one is screenless, though, and they make a point to promote that as a positive part of this.
Okay.
They want you to just wear it.
So you don't get distracted by your band.
Yeah, they want this to just be about health and not, for like if you have an Apple Watch like I do, which is about your emails and your text message and stuff. This is just tracking your health. So you can get it for, I think it's $60-something early, but then it becomes $100.
Oh, okay.
And I think it's $4 a month, maybe.
I don't know. So far, that doesn't seem outrageous.
So you get a 6-month trial for free.
Okay.
And it is a screen-free wristband that will give you like a temperature sensor, heart rate monitor, normal tracking stuff to see about how you're doing during the day.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is it has a tone determinator or something. So it tells you that, hey, it can recognize your tone, like your vocal patterns.
Yeah.
And it can tell by your tones if you're stressed and if you're having trouble. And it gives you reports based on that because it says your tone determines if you're feeling positive enough to get through the day. So you'll get like a breakdown each morning of your tonal patterns.
I don't need that breakdown.
This is the part where you
know
don't
my
need
tone.
It's a negative
what is it,
tone.
my girlfriend?
Every lady's like, yes, tones. Tones. I'm very much into like, hey, I don't like your tone with me.
Yeah.
Like, I very much agree with all this stuff. So you get to learn about your tonal pattern, though, because then it gives you tips on how to sound warmer when you're having a problem.
So it's not going to give you help on. I see that it has these microphones built in. It's recording all this stuff, right?
Well, everything Amazon is. It always is.
Is it going to give you tips on how to actually improve your situation or just how to have a nicer tone to it?
I think it's trying to give you tips on how you can respond in a positive way
to negative situations.
Even in a negative situation, which is helpful for your own health.
It's probably by buying more Amazon stuff, isn't it?
Well, that's later.
That always helps.
That's later. You're like, I have it on my wristband. I can order through it. But it's just trying to teach you your energy, your positivity, and like your tone. So that way you can help hear, like when you hear other people talking in certain tones, they want to train you to kind of like get it a little bit better. So that way if you're in a situation, I don't know. I think they're kind of hopeful
they're
on
really,
this one.
Yeah, they're kind of selling a lot. And you just start to think about, wait, when do I have tone situations?
So this is where it gets a little weird too. Amazon said for their new Halo band, their health monitor, that your speech samples will be processed locally and never sent to the company's cloud servers. I feel like there's maybe a fib there or something.
Wait, so that's somebody, what do they mean locally?
Meaning it won't go to like Amazon. It'll just be locally monitored and reviewed.
Inside the band? Or
probably, pretty much.
Or at like a local Amazon center that's in your area. So it could be people you know.
You said that. I didn't. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with it.
They got all these bunkers all around the country.
Yeah. Now,
monitoring everyone's tone.
If you're really in a private conversation, you can press a button on the watch for 3 seconds and it'll block the listening feature.
Okay.
And
like our dump.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. It's going to help you identify and reduce your BFP, your body fat percentage.
Gosh. Actually, that sounds real.
Everything else.
I thought they were starting to make up.
That's a real thing.
Yeah.
That's a real thing, Hudson.
I'm just instantly skeptical. What can I say?
I know. So that's what they announced yesterday. A lot of people were talking about it. It's screenless, and for a health fit monitor, they said that that's kind of what you want to look for. So it's not so distracting.
How did we live before that? How did we get through all these years of humanity without something analyzing our tone?
Using advanced technology, we've digitized and transcoded Obadiah and Nikki into a purely digital format. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Nick texted, said, good morning, Nikki and Hudson. Hudson, what's your favorite cereal? Put you on the spot.
Yeah. I thought about it for a moment, and I'm going to say peanut butter Captain Crunch.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I would have never
one.
thought that about
you. That's a good one, yeah.
So are you a peanut butter fan? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. I have peanut butter and jelly probably at least once a week.
Well, I could see that. I actually thought you were going to say once a day. So.
There's only so many meals in a day.
No, I mean, you can still have PB&J for a snack.
Yeah,
I think it's still workable.
Yeah. And I just make a big loaf of bread into a bunch of little finger sandwiches.
Just
dip in whenever I need. Yeah, that's an idea.
Well, Nick, there's the answer for Hudson. Yeah. It's a peanut butter Captain Crunch.
Yeah. That's
I would
good.
think I don't really have cereal ever, but when I did,
I couldn't tell you the last time I had peanut butter Captain Crunch.
I always enjoyed like Cookie Crisp.
Really?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I remember when I moved out into my own place. I
can have all the Cookie Crisp I want.
Yes, and I realized like you could have cereal for any meal. And
it took you moving out to realize that?
It did. Apparently, my parents were not allowing me to have the freedom to have Cookie Crisp for dinner. And I think I went for like a solid month or two where that was it.
That was every meal?
That was pretty much.
Or just every dinner?
No, just a lot of meals.
Yeah, I think, like, before I moved out, I don't think that I had it for dinner that much because, you know, you live in a good home and you get dinner cooked for you most of the time.
You get other food.
So that wasn't as much of a deal, but definitely you show up, and especially on the weekend, and it's like midnight, 1 a.m., and you're still up doing whatever you do as somebody who lives at their parents' house. That's when you break out the Cookie Crisp.
Well, you can have it any time.
Yeah.
I went through a phase of a Honey Nut Cheerio with bananas in it.
Really?
It was just
That's
so
a weird combo. I do like Honey Nut Cheerios. They're underrated.
I felt like I had grown up a bit because I went from the cookies to the Honey Nut Cheerios.
That's a good point. You know what's good? I don't even know if they make them anymore. Remember the apple cinnamon Cheerios?
I don't think I ever had those.
Really? Those are good, but they're one of the cereals that kind of cuts up your mouth like Captain Crunch does.
Oh, it's too rough?
Yeah, but that was actually good. Cheerios, if you strike the plain Cheerios from the record, the rest of the Cheerio roster, it's pretty solid.
And they have more than you realize.
They do.
If you go look. So Katie said, does that mean like tag-alongs are your favorite Girl Scout cookies? Is that the peanut butter one?
Well, no, Thin Mints are definitely better for the Girl Scout cookies.
That's what you're going with?
You know what? What's wrong with Thin Mints?
Nothing. All I know
there was some judgment in that.
It's not. I was afraid for you for a moment. We talked about the new Girl Scout cookie a few days ago, and Obi said he also liked Thin Mints, and the negativity from everyone going, how could you like the worst flavor? For a moment, I was like, don't say it, Hudson. They're not going to like you.
There are Girl Scout cookies I can't even name. They're absolutely worth. Like there's an idea that all the Girl Scout cookies are at least good. That's not true.
There's some bad flavors.
But Thin Mints is good.
Well, I just want you to just not say your favorite flavor with that because people are very passionate about it, and I just want them to like you.
Things are never as bad as they seem, except when it comes to the riot. Then they're worse. They're always worse. It's the Riot on Radio U.
Ashley wanted to know. Sometimes we talk about you, Hudson, when, you know, it's just like, here's what's going on at Radio U.
I hear.
Every so often, Hudson does our worst of riot stuff, so he does hear the stuff. But we, every so often, will reference the hot dog maker that you... Do you still have it in the break room?
It is still in there.
Do you still use it?
You know, I don't want to... Some people have an image of me, and if they want to picture me...
Using it all the time?
Hot dog toasting every single day... That's fine, but I actually haven't used it in a while. Yeah, you know what? I had to cut back on the fat, Nikki.
So you had to not have as many hot dogs?
Yeah, I did. I was like, this is like saturated fat central. So
you can get a hot dog with like lower fat.
So I've replaced it with KFC on Wednesday.
Yeah, him and I have talked about this, but Ashley wanted to know, where did you get your hot dog baker?
Yeah.
It's just where you put 2 hot dogs and like the buns in and they toast it.
Yeah. I got that. Actually, it was a gift, but I know that it came from a thrift store.
Oh, that's good. Someone else didn't want their hot dog
A pre-loved hot dog maker.
Well, you know what you can't do, though? Like, you can't send it back to a thrift store, right?
Yeah, I can't return it.
Because that'd be like taking the dog back to the pound and stuff. Like, you can't do that. You have to keep that thing.
It would be another level of sadness,
of
shame, walking into the Goodwill or whatever.
It was already given up on once. Yeah. And then you got it and you put it, and now you don't use it anymore, but at least it's got a home.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and then the people at the thrift store are like, oh, this wasn't, you didn't get your $2 worth out of this, you don't think?
Is that how much you think it was?
Probably about right.
I was thinking $1. I think the $2
You know,
is
it's
too
actually very possible that it still has the price sticker from the thrift store on it.
Could be underneath it.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Nate says, is this Ask Hudson? Okay, favorite movie, Hudson?
Oh, we don't have time. We don't like.
Do you want a minute and then you can come back and tell me?
Yeah, I don't know. We want to do I could do favorite movie. I couldn't do every year, but you know, like I could go through and I couldn't just pick one.
You can't? Why not?
Oh, I can't. I don't know. Like, because favorite. It could have a lot of meanings. First of all,
you're overthinking it?
Yeah, I am. The first movie I don't know, like the most recent movie.
But wait, hang on. I'll give you a couple of minutes. Yes. And why don't you do top 5?
All right,
of like all time, unless that's too stressful.
Well, I mean, I'm going to regret it later. I'm going to come back and be like, that was a different movie I should have included.
I forgot about
there
the
doesn't
one.
need to be this much pressure. It's just a morning show.
Well, Nate, give us a minute, and then Hudson will come back with 1 to 5. I'll leave it up to you, and then he'll tell you some of his favorite movies. And if you have a question to ask Hudson, you can totally text him 877-2-RADIO-U, and then that'll put more pressure on him to answer your guys' questions.
Yeah, give me some that are not so. I don't know. How are you guys going to know what's going to
set you off?
Yeah, set off my mind, because I can't talk about Girl Scout cookies because that upsets some people.
We have learned he likes peanut butter. We do know that he used to eat a lot more hot dogs than he does now, and now we're going to wait on what his favorite movies are.
Yeah, and maybe we'll keep asking questions. Maybe it's something I can feel comfortable with answering.
No pressure.
If you're looking for all the funny moments you missed during the riot, we apologize. You won't find them here. There weren't any. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
Hudson's filling in for Obadiah, who should be returning on Monday.
Good morning.
Going back to Nate's text message, just so we can learn a bit more about Hudson to really know you. He was asking your favorite movie.
All right. Well, I still don't have, I don't know if I can still do a defined top 5. What I will say is it's a safe bet with me if you're thinking about what I like. Martin Scorsese movies.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
that's your style?
I love cusses. So that's the movie I enjoy. But I haven't seen every single movie he's done.
Yeah.
But like The Irishman is great. Like Silence is really good. And then you go back further and Raging Bull and Cape Fear. Goodfellas, one of my favorites. So I love the mob crime movies. I have a soft spot for those.
Aren't those kind of long, though?
They are really long.
Silence,
I think, was like 3.5 hours or something like that.
Oh my gosh, you're kidding.
I might be exaggerating. Well, The Irishman was.
I know everybody's joke is that you're still watching the movie. It was so long.
But it was. I've watched that twice, which I feel is a lot for most people.
I'm surprised you even got through it, let alone twice.
I watched it late one night, and then I needed to go through again to process, so I watched it, and I know some people would hate this, probably a lot of other Scorsese fans, but I watched it broken up, and I felt like watching it a second time, whether it was broken up or not, was probably the smart thing to do.
Did it help with the kind of understanding the story a bit more, because it's so long?
It was... I don't know, maybe this is a detriment to the movie where like you get through the whole thing and it did feel long.
Yeah.
Especially it's weird. It felt more long at the beginning where it took a while before you're totally into it.
It didn't feel long. It was long.
So, yes.
Wow, yeah. I did not peg you for that.
No, yeah, that's what I love.
Good mob movie?
Yeah, I love mob movies. And I go back to the older movies more so than watching new stuff, at least now. Like this year, especially because there hasn't been
out this year.
There hasn't been anything that has caught my attention.
Sure.
So I've been going back more on with HBO Max, having a lot of the older movies on there, doing that kind of stuff.
So Dane wanted to know, I guess for both of us, what's our favorite RadioU songs?
That's another one. How can you pick only one?
Well, he's going to pick the really long ones. The Scorsese of songs that we have. Yeah. For me, I mean, we played it not too long ago. I like anything Anchor and Braille. Amberlynn.
I do love Anchor and Braille.
His voice is always amazing, so I'll go with Anchor and Braille.
Yeah, I'm a big Anchor and Braille and any Stephen Christian, anything. Mm-hmm. And then to show, I Contain Multitudes. I love Knox Hamilton.
Yeah.
And I love August Burns Red, the Bloodletter song that was just in the Battle of the Buzz.
Oh, is that one of your favorites?
I crank that every time. Every time.
Every time we play it.
Yeah, I was really disappointed when it lost.
Aww.
I'll say people in the Battle of the Buzz probably don't know because I don't share my bias.
Oh, you're supposed to.
No,
you totally can.
I don't want to tip the scales. I don't want
you're
any
allowed to do that every so often.
Voter fraud. I don't want.
Listen, they're not watching our voter stuff as much as the other stuff. I think it's okay. You should have totally played that off. It could still be winning.
Yeah.
You're basically listening to a real-time cringe compilation. This is The Riot on Radio U.
I was reading, if you think your dog might look a little thirsty, Busch Beer is releasing a dog brew. So it's like a doggy beer.
Yeah.
Which I don't think it's the first time they've done or someone else has done, but it's not actually beer. It's basically just bone broth.
Okay.
Which you can buy in its own thing for a lot less.
It doesn't have to be in a can.
It does not have to be in a can. No, it does not.
But this is their special brew, though.
It includes bone-in pork butt, whole corn, celery, basil, mint, turmeric, and ginger.
Wow. You wouldn't think all those flavors would go good together. A dog, though.
I like how they're trying to make this work.
Yeah.
They're like, it's for a dogs can enjoy after a long hike or a hard day of play at the park. That's what they're saying. But
just kick back.
Yeah, you just open up a can of the doggy beer.
Yeah.
But it's actually, the one thing is nice. They're doing a Foster a Dog campaign with them. So anytime you buy, it's a 4-pack online. Because again, there's not actually alcohol in it. So they can sell it online for $10. They'll give $1 to the Best Friends Animal Society, which is a dog support thing that they've been working with.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
So now I feel obligated to get some.
Can we afford that, or can we just make it at home on our own?
Or I could just, what is it, $1 for everything? I'll just donate $1.
Oh, that's easier.
That?
Yeah,
that's
you're
nice.
saving a lot of money, actually.
I like how, first of all, in the picture, they have the dog with the can.
Yeah.
That's not right.
Why?
How's the dog going to get the beer
Well,
or the brew out of there?
You need to pour it into a doggy bowl.
Yeah, but it's a misleading picture. That dog, if it tries to get that, if this brew is so good, the dog can't withhold itself.
He can't open his own
it's
can.
It's going to cut his tongue open.
I know. They didn't think about that. But they were trying to really promote it. A couple of days ago was National Dog Day.
Right.
And they were doing some free giveaway stuff with it. So
the other thing I thought of is, what are the odds this actually, to a human, tastes better than actual Busch beer?
Oh, my gosh. That's... Hudson, it's worth kind of trying.
Yeah,
just trying the dog
brew. Somebody should definitely do that.
I know.
TikTok. We could be.
This is
why we don't have enough TikTok followers, because we need to do stuff like this.
If it ends up that the dog brew from Busch is actually pretty tasty, and they say bone broth is really good for us.
Right. This is probably healthy.
If you're doing that intermittent fasting, you can have bone broth.
And think of all the nutrients that are in this. It's pork butt. There's protein.
Oh, there's mint.
The's mint. Yeah, it's freshen up. Oh, your breath would smell so good after this.
And then your friends are like, are you secretly having all the dog beer? You order it and you're like, I don't even have a dog.
The mailman is suspicious and he's dropping it off.
It's like, I've never heard a dog bark here, but you're ordering all this. I will let someone else, if they want to try that. I think that really screams you.
Yeah.
If you want to give the doggy beer a try.
How much is it again?
It's $10 for 4 of them.
That's more expensive than actual beer.
I think
Why is it so much?
It's dog stuff, Hudson. It's for the doggies.
You got to treat your dog right.
This is the worst of the riot on Radio U.
I know Obi's really the PlayStation person, so
yeah, he's
Hudson,
the game guy.
I'm not sure if you're like me and we're not all in with all the details, but I thought it was at least worth mentioning. And this came a little bit later. I think it was on like Wednesday, and so some more details yesterday. But PlayStation has been talking about that they are allowing soon the PlayStation PreOrders, but there's some catches to it. So if you want to pre-order it, the biggest thing everybody's still griping about is you're pre-ordering it without really knowing the price still.
Yeah. That's a big one.
Seems weird, but you don't get to know that yet.
But I'm sure some people have educated guesses. Like, do you have an idea?
I think they were saying like I was going to say like $400 to $600. Is that good enough
still
for
a
you?
big range.
I don't think that's as close as people want it to be told. But no, I think it was. I think they were saying the Xbox was still going to be more.
Okay.
So I think this one was going to be like $499. But maybe.
I guess that's not too bad. For some reason, I had in my mind that it was. Like, people are saying it's going to be much more expensive.
Oh, like $600, $700, $800?
Yeah,
no.
but I just have no, I don't know. Like, I see the headlines when I'm doing show stuff, but I don't pay so much attention to it because I already know that I'm not gonna get it.
Pay it? Yeah.
Not at first, and probably not for quite a while.
But this is kind of interesting how they're coming at the pre-order part of this. So you don't know the final price. You don't know the release date to go with it. But they're apparently doing a limited quantity of PS5 consoles for pre-order. And this will be if you are a part of the PSN, so the PlayStation Network.
Okay.
You have to
I know
be
what that is.
offered to existing customers on a first-come, first-served basis.
Okay.
And they'll be looking into how much are you into PlayStation to see if you'll actually be able to get the honor of the pre-order.
So this is only really for the I don't know, is sycophants the right word?
They don't want scalpers to come in and get them.
Okay,
it's
sure.
basically
That's a good point.
You know, like if you look at Nintendo, it's a terrible thing where you can't find a Switch because the people just buy them up the second they get in the store and then they go sell it. That raises the price up.
Yeah.
And you're just the person's like, why can't I get a hold of this thing years later? Why can I still not get this?
Yeah.
So for PlayStation, they're trying to weed out bot accounts.
Okay.
So bot accounts is how come the Switch thing is bad.
Right.
But bot accounts will go and find out where it's at and will purchase it not for an actual human being, but it's set up to get the first come. And they're faster than you'll ever be.
Yeah, of course.
You cannot beat a bot. And they want to make sure it's an active human being.
Okay.
Who's a member of the PlayStation world.
Well, that's nice, isn't it? Isn't Sony so nice?
Well, they want to make sure that the pre-orders are going to, to the fans and stuff, I guess.
But you're really, because what they're saying, we still don't know. We don't know the price, and we don't know, I guess, a lot of the details. So
Correct.
You're kind of just pre-ordering an idea.
So if you're unfortunately newer to the PlayStation world,
that's the good
and
point.
you want to pre-order it, you might not actually get an option during this first run of it.
Yeah, you just recently were, awoken to how that's not a word. That's not.
No, it works. It works.
You're just recently discovered the greatness of the PlayStation. Like for me, I haven't had a PlayStation since the PlayStation 2, so there's no way I'm getting it.
They wouldn't look
Even if
at
I wanted
you
to.
as a potential person. They would look at the person who has like all the points and plays all the games and obviously has a very active is the word.
Yeah.
They want an active PlayStation user.
They don't just want it sitting, obviously they don't want the bots to have it. They also don't want somebody that's just going to have it sit on the shelf.
Correct.
They want to put it to good use.
They're worried you would go in and be like, well, I don't really want it. I guess I'll just sell it.
Yeah.
They don't want it that way. So, but the real thing is to protect it from bots and from selling it and raising the price with it.
I'm going to get a PlayStation 4. Mm-hmm. I'm going to get, I'm assuming there's none in between 4 and 5, but who knows with the way we number things now. And I'm going to get I'm just going to have the most active account.
Oh, yeah?
And then I'm going to pre-order this then stop playing.
It's too late.
And then let someone buy it from me.
Listen, it'd have to be like a full-time job. Like he had to quit RadioU because he wanted to put in all this time. You couldn't.
I'm going to make a bot instead of here's the idea. You don't get a bot to buy these. You get a bot to make your account look so active. So active. More active than any person could be.
Doesn't this, well then.
It's playing multiple games at the same time.
Okay, that just tells them it's a You're doing too much.
You're listening to a morning show hosted by two people who absolutely despise getting up in the morning.
Will you give me a break one time?
The Riot, RadioU.
So I wanted to, even though Obie and I did talk about this already, I wanted to know what your opinion was on it.
Okay.
The spicy McNuggets coming to McDonald's.
Yes.
I was curious if you were interested or not.
I saw this, and what caught my eye about it is that they have the spicy nuggets and a spicy sauce.
Yes.
Which to me is saying that the spicy nuggets aren't spicy enough on their own.
Well, you think?
That's what I think.
People might just enjoy the new sauce if you get a regular nugget.
Maybe. I like at Wendy's when you get the spicy nuggets, I feel that I always get the honey mustard with those because they're spicy. If you eat them dry, it's not that they're so spicy that they'll, melt your tongue out, but like they're spicy enough that I like to have something counteracting it. But if McDonald's is like, these aren't really that spicy, but try the spicy sauce, then how am I supposed to counteract the spicy sauce?
Yeah, you need something else.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess maybe one of those cool, refreshing McDonald's Cokes.
That's what they want you to get.
Yeah.
It's all a big ploy. It's all about getting the drinks.
It's all a package deal.
Well, I was curious what your thought was because for the spicy chicken nuggets, people are pretty excited. I think it's September 16th around then September 16th is when it's going to start.
Okay.
And then like Hudson mentioned, the mighty hot sauce will be the first time they say this like this is... It's been only since 2017. That was the last time. So it's not like it's been that long. Like
their first new sauce?
Yeah, like we've never seen a new sauce in our lifetime.
Yeah, right.
But they're doing
it's like Haley's Comet.
Yeah, it's finally coming. But Mighty Hot Sauce will be also out, and that is red pepper, crushed red pepper, spicy cheeses, a savory garlic, and a sweetness to the sauce.
Interesting. I'm sure I'll wind up trying them because I go to McDonald's frequently enough that there'll be a billboard and I'll be like, oh, these are here, and I'll give it a shot. But I can't imagine. I never, ever get their nuggets there. And I go there, again, frequently enough. I have the option. I just don't.
never do?
I don't like their nuggets.
Oh, well, now.
We're going to get into another
here.
Girl Scout debate where I'm not allowed to say that Wendy's nuggets are better than McDonald's.
Listen, you're newer to the audience here, and so you just don't throw things out there like that. You have to be a little bit more calm about it.
We controversy sells, right?
Well, it's all on you then.
So, yeah, you can at me. And I'm saying McDonald's nuggets aren't very good.
You can text him.
Yeah.
You're more than welcome to. 877-2-RADIO-U. I never caught this part, too, but on the same day, they're adding a new McFlurry flavor to help
balance
out
the heat.
And that's going to be a Chips Ahoy McFlurry. Even though every time I go, they never have
you can't get a McFlurry.
The flavor of the McFlurries, and something's always wrong.
You know what they've also had a problem with is like having not billboards, but like the signage up for stuff they don't even have anymore. And they haven't had in months.
I think that's all coming from the COVID stuff. Like, the restaurants and drive-through and fast food places are not, like, they're getting back into it.
Yeah.
But they've just not been into they don't have things that they normally do. They're getting rid of it. They're using it all up. So they still leave the signs up, but they don't have it.
Yeah. So they're trying to catch up on that. But then it leaves you as the customer disappointed.
Well, yeah, you're excited, and then they tell you, like, you should know better.
Right.
You're like, wait, I just saw the sign.
But then when something's on their website and you call and they act like you're crazy.
I know.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
If you're a car enthusiast, I don't think any of us own one of these. And I don't know if what is the term like? It's not the tone. It's kind of tone deaf on the company. But Rolls-Royce has recently redone their logo, Hudson.
Okay.
They have a new logo. A new brand identity is what they're calling it.
Is this picture the new one?
The new one is
with like the purple?
Yeah. The
little silky, whatever that is?
That's not always there. What you should be looking at, it's just the R's with it.
But I don't know. That looks familiar. That's not always been their logo, or was it a very subtle tweak in some way?
It's a subtle one, and they're taking away, like with putting the Rolls-Royce with it.
Okay.
They want it to be a more modern, forward-looking design.
Okay.
Because they say that they want basically us, the younger audience, to start thinking that Rolls-Royce is a possibility.
Okay.
Which I think they're really trying to hit the wrong market at that point. They want you to know that the Rolls-Royce, it's a journey from just an automobile manufacturer to what they're calling a house of luxury.
Oh, I like the sound of that. I do.
I know we do, but
I love hearing the things that the corporate, the marketing department thinks appeals to us hoi polloi.
Exactly, the normal people
they
here.
think that's totally going to draw Rolls-Royce. Yeah. They are a house of luxury. I could take that journey.
Yeah, I want to get one. Or, it's different. If you go to like a Lamborghini or some of the other really sports car, fancy ones, we would never afford one. But you know what it is. You like it. It is a trend for people who are wealthier.
You know what that is, though? Or here's an idea I have. Because those are in video games, or at least they were, like Need for Speed.
Yeah.
And you were a kid playing that. Maybe you're still an adult playing it. What video games are Rolls-Royce in?
It's not the same style. No. They want you to dream about having one of their cars as a younger person.
But still never be able to afford it.
Exactly. That's it. Because Rolls-Royce, I didn't know they were a 116-year-old car maker.
Wow.
So they are tweaking their logo in hopes that we would want a new Rolls-Royce.
It was the logo that was holding me back.
Yeah, apparently. Not the price.
No, I always thought if Rolls-Royce, that logo, I could never have one of those.
Nah,
and then
you didn't
now
know
this
you wanted
opens up a whole
one.
new world of possibility.
It's kind of like there was this one Bugatti I saw in a show, and it's like, I could never afford that, but man, that thing looks nice.
Yeah.
And I'm not even a car person, but I would like that. I wouldn't mind one of those, but we never usually think about that with Rolls-Royce.
Do you ever think, I do this more when I see like the classic cars.
Yeah.
And you see them, but it could be any nice car, and you just think like, I wouldn't deserve to own that because.
Oh, you do?
No, but because I couldn't. But I guess this is more with classic cars, just because I wouldn't take care of it.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know?
you're right.
Like I would like to have it, and when I picture like the dream car of what I would like to drive, it's something like that. But then it's like, yeah, but you have to actually know about cars.
Yeah,
like
to
you
keep
can't,
it up.
With my Jeep, I can just ignore if it's making a sound, and it's usually okay. You can't do that with a 69 Shelby or something.
Eventually, a notification will pop up, and it'll tell you to do something. That's all you do. But for the older cars, that's not the case.
And you have to know, either you have to be able to fix it yourself, or you need to know a guy.
Yeah.
You got to know, you have to have a specialty shop.
I like to look at the expensive cars, but then you look at it and you're like, well, how you can't even insure it. Like they would never let you have the insurance for it.
Right.
And you can't afford, like, it's not the normal gas. You can't afford not the normal gas.
Yeah.
So it's just all this stuff that was holding you back, not their new logo.
Yeah, the logo, it's one barrier broken down. Now we just need to work on all the other ones.
I gave during the last fundraiser, and all I got was this crappy morning show. This is The Riot on listener-supported Radio U.
Carrie wanted to know what your favorite... Well, these are the hard questions, right?
Yeah.
What's your favorite Coke Freestyle mix?
Well, it's been so long
since
I've
you've had a
Coke
Freestyle?
I don't know about you, because I think Wendy's advertises it on the board, but I don't want to order a Coke Freestyle from the drive-thru.
Why?
Because they're going to think I'm crazy. That's where I draw the line. Can you get me a Coke with raspberry, but also mix it with a Fanta of
So you're saying when you would do it on your own, that was your private thing?
Yeah, kind of, because it just, I don't know, it feels like a little extravagant. You feel a little...
Like
I like it.
It's not your place to ask someone to do your incredibly custom mix.
No, I don't picture... I picture that the Freestyle is out in the dining room, but they don't have a Freestyle behind the counter.
They do. Well, it's the drive-through version of it, but it's the same. They just put it in the mix,
So I should it's another barrier I should break down.
Well, it seems
Order
like
a Freestyle through the drive-through.
Seems like you know what you need to do today.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were having this problem. Maybe this is why
I've made it through fine.
Maybe this is why you're here today.
This is the
whole reason.
Everything happens for a reason.
Obi's out of town.
Yep.
This is the reason you came in today.
So that it all fell into place.
Yeah.
So that today I could go to Wendy's.
So when we're done with the show, you go over there and you have the freedom then to finally get them to make your Freestyle drink.
Yeah. Well, what I'll tell them is...
What's your order?
I can see, the thing is, I also sometimes have a hard time remembering it because I like Mellow Yellow and Fanta. One needs to be raspberry, and the other one needs to be peach, but I can't remember which is which.
So like you can just pull up the app and tell them.
Oh yeah, the app. I never got the app.
Well, you can do the Freestyle app, yeah.
I didn't know. And then it just sends it right to Wendy's?
I don't know if that happens yet, but what Freestyle was saying when COVID was going on, because a lot of the restaurants closed inside.
Right.
So Freestyle machines were hard to use. When they opened up, you could still use the Freestyle. Some of them were closed down, but some...
maybe you don't want to touch the screen on there with everybody else's COVID fingers.
They started talking about by, I think... the end of this year, all the Freestyles are supposed to be modernized and updated to where you wouldn't actually touch it anymore anyways.
Oh, that's smart.
You would have
Pandemic
to use the app.
Or not.
Yeah, the touching screen thing in a public place is gone.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to do that. So instead, you really should be familiar with the app anyways.
You think on that note... Have you gone into, I'm sure you have, the McDonald's and the Wendy's that want you to order on this kiosks?
Yeah, the kiosks.
Instead of from a person. Can we get rid of those?
I don't think you're supposed to use them now, but you're supposed to use your phone.
I always hated those. Some of the Wendy's here were aggressive, where they would have, at the counter, they would have the big, giant ordering screen to try to, and I would just stand there. This makes me sound like 1,000 years old, but I don't want to order on that screen.
Why not?
The interface was so like slow. And then if you want to make any customizations,
have you tried to order from a person before?
they pick up on it a little quicker.
I don't think so.
Then,
and you miss the bad attitude and the things.
The judgment, I guess.
Yeah, the judgment. You miss all that.
No, I mean, if I want to avoid having to say my order, we all have apps. We don't need these screens. If you're walking up to the counter, you have a reason to walk up to the counter.
I understand what you're
kiosks.
saying.
I know. This is the moment where I feel most like
vulnerable here.
Oh no, I was going to say my mom. This is something my mom would say, and we probably wouldn't say a lot of the same things. But on this,
is it hereditary?
That we both hate ordering screens. Yeah. Actually, it's not my mom, but I have relatives that will refuse to do those ordering screens. They'll refuse to go through the self-checkout because they think it's taking away jobs.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, but that's not me. I just don't like them because I don't like using them.
Well, we've learned way more about Hudson during these couple of moments.
We started on freestyles, and look where we are now.
Look at that. I mean, I really feel like I now really know your quirks with it.
Yeah, this is great. I'm just doing a little free association session here.
Yes, let it all out. That's what this show's here for.
The Riot Podcast. RadioU.
I'm in awe of Hudson with the fact that he is, I think, the driving force of our RadioU official TikTok.
Oh, I appreciate that.
I love TikTok, but I just haven't felt comfortable enough to jump into the making TikToks.
Sure.
So I didn't know, do you even watch them or do you like to just make them?
I watch TikTok a little bit, and there's a few people I follow on there, but when you go on TikTok and you go on like the main page, and you first sign up, and this is an algorithm, and it'll give you stuff to watch based on what other things you watch. I think they need to improve their algorithm.
Because it's not hitting what you want?
Yeah, I get all this stuff, and it's like I guess that's the thing about TikTok is the videos are so short.
Yeah.
That you can just be like, well, just skip, you don't feel like you wasted too much if you watch one you don't like.
Yeah, but you get a lot of, the For You page can just be anything.
You never know. Well, most of it's not very good. If you want to...
Except ours.
Yeah, right. If you want not a streaming service, if you want a social media thing where like 1 out of 80 things that you watch you feel like is worth your time, then TikTok is perfect.
You need to fix that then, because I'm like, yes.
You just keep scrolling.
Yes, I love it all.
You love it.
I do.
And what's weird for me is I get on these weird like kicks of like they'll just keep recommending the same style of something to me. And so for the longest time, it just kept showing me like the most redneck. Are we allowed to say redneck? Like sometimes I don't know.
Well, I think you got an accent when you said it. I don't know. I don't know.
The most just.
If it's not, he apologizes.
I wonder. Yeah, right. I wonder if if it's basing it. I just don't know where the idea comes from. Why does TikTok think that I want to watch these people from like Duck Dynasty, like not actual Duck Dynasty, but they look like they're
really
from Duck
just
Dynasty?
Doing well here.
Why do they do this to me?
Well,
and some of them were fine. Like some of them I did like. They did one that they kept showing me these guys. They would shoot off fireworks, but they would put like hubcaps and other things over them, and so it would shoot the hubcap up in the air.
That you liked?
I love that. But not everything they showed me was not as great.
Well, based on your beard, and you are wearing flannel, I mean,
that's what I was wondering. If it was based off of my videos that I'm making and thinking that it fits in with that crowd.
It doesn't know what you want, so you need to work on it. But for TikTok, obviously, it's still been in the news because they need to decide who gets to buy the U.S. side of TikTok.
Right.
I didn't know this, though. It's not just the U.S. side. We're not dumb. We do know there are security problems with TikTok.
Yeah,
we just choose to ignore that and you just keep going.
It's worth it. It's totally worth it. The 1 out of 80 videos
people
that
are
I like.
Why are we trying to take it down? Because it does do things.
Yeah.
It is not 100% what all we use it for. So this would be actually to buy the U.S., the Canada, the Australian, and the New Zealand side of it.
Okay.
Because like in Australia, I think India closed it down, Hong Kong took it off. So there are other countries that have already taken it away.
Yeah.
So someone wants to buy and run that side of TikTok. Mm-hmm. That value is $20 to $30 billion.
Okay.
And they are hopefully going to do an announcement in the next couple of days. Otherwise, we lose it here in the United States.
Yeah, we're running out of time, aren't we?
This is a weird one. Microsoft is looking at buying it with Walmart as its partner.
Is that...
I think that's just to get enough money with it.
Okay.
It's very, very odd.
Microsoft doesn't have $30 billion on their own?
See, it's different. There really is the spying side as an issue. So the United States government has said it will not let just anybody buy TikTok. It has to be a tech firm.
Okay.
So Walmart
so
originally...
they can shut that down.
Yes. Walmart originally was tied with Alphabet. Alphabet is the parent company of Google.
Right.
So Walmart and Google would have been a minority buyer in TikTok, and that was not approved. You have to be a majority buyer if you are a tech company.
Yeah, this is a lot of stock maneuvering things that it goes way over my head, but I get it. Is Walmart... what is their stake? Is this so that they can try? What are they thinking?
They haven't said what they're thinking, but they would not be the biggest side of it. They would be with Microsoft.
Okay.
So they would combine forces. Twitter is also in the running, and then a company called Oracle is also in the running. So those are what they're saying be.
Isn't it kind of funny that Twitter wants to buy TikTok?
Well, Twitter's always trying.
They had Vine, and it's almost the same thing, and they let it die.
I know.
I never got into Vine.
Well,
I actually kind of Vine was too short.
Vine came back, but then it died again.
Yeah, so, I guess that wasn't the same.
So in the next few
market.
days, they're saying that they will have to come up with an announcement on who buys the TikTok U.S., Canada, Australia, New Zealand side. But now Walmart might actually be what buys that.
Hey, so what do you think of Obadiah?
The truth is, he's not a very nice person.
Okay, well, what about Nikki?
The very best there is.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
If you have any questions or if you want to say hello to Hudson since he's in, text 877 to Radio U. Carl's in Florida. He said, hey, Hudson. Wants to know, are you an avid gamer like the rest of everybody, or are you a normie in our midst?
Definitely more of a normie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have an Xbox. Here's how bad it is. I don't even know what it is. It's the new. You can play the new games on it.
You don't know the model?
Yeah, I think it's not a 360. It's is it a one? An Xbox One?
Okay, so you have a one,
but not
which
like
one?
the newest one. Because I know what do they have, like the X series or something? Probably. I don't. It's just an Xbox One. It plays Gears of War 5. That's what I'm worried about.
That's what you work on.
Yeah. And I just keep waiting. There's 3 games I really care about. I like Gears of War, even though I hate it. I like Borderlands, and I really want Cuphead.
Yeah.
I loved Cuphead, and I want them to one day come out with more Cuphead stuff.
So putting
That's
the
why
Xbox
I got
aside,
the Xbox, actually.
Do you do any PC or gaming on your phone?
Absolutely not.
No Switch?
I don't have a real PC at home, and no, I don't have a Switch, and on my phone, perish the thought of having a game on there. The phone is serious. It's for TikTok only.
I was going to say, it is not serious with you. I know it's
for
not.
Business. It's
for business. Hey, our Radio U official makes TikTok business.
Yeah, it is.
We can actually say that.
Yeah.
And every time we spend time on it, if we tell you guys to please follow us there, then that also counts as business hours too.
And when I'm viewing TikTok, it's research for work,
Ideas.
so I'm putting it on my time card.
Yeah, okay. You could treat that the same with games. Then you come into the show.
That's true, with a report.
Yeah, and you come in and
movies.
Talk about the movies and TV, and all the time you put in counts as work.
Everything I do is work.
Then we're always like, man, Hudson is such a hard worker.
Yeah, 24 hours a day.
He never turns off.
The worst of the riot is over, but the fun can keep going.
Hey, I saw you checking out my goods.
Check the Riot blog or stalk us on social media.
You want to sample them? A little try before you buy, huh?
Through riot.radiou.com.